There is a truth that many dog owners do not realize. Your dog follows you everywhere, not just because it loves you. Not just because it wants food. Not just because it is used to your scent. And sometimes, the real reason can make you feel both warm inside and a little emotional. Because for dogs, following you is not simply a habit. It is instinct. It is a sense of safety. It is the way they read your emotions. And in many cases, it is also a sign that you are their whole world. In this video, I want to tell you the real reason why dogs always cling to their owners, from the living room, to the kitchen, to the door, even to the bathroom. And after hearing this, you may no longer see that behavior as something merely funny. Part 1. We often misunderstand why dogs cling to their owners. A lot of people think about it very simply like this. My dog follows me because it is attached to me. That sounds right. But it is not enough. Because if it were only attachment, then why are there dogs that follow you step by step, stand up the moment you stand up, move rooms the moment you move rooms, and spring up the instant your hand touches the doorknob? That is no longer just liking to follow. It is a deeper kind of bond. In my opinion, the biggest mistake humans make when looking at this behavior is that we interpret it through human logic. We think, it is being clingy. It is begging for food. It is being annoying. Or it is too dependent. But dogs do not think that way. Dogs live through signals, habits, attachment, and an incredibly subtle ability to observe. It does not need to know whether you are getting water, checking your phone, or simply changing where you sit. What it sees is, the most important person in my life is moving. And to it, that is information worth reacting to immediately. Part 2, the first reason, pack instinct. To understand why dogs follow you all the time, we have to go back to something very old. Dogs are pack animals. Even though today they live indoors, sleep on soft beds, eat packaged kibble, and even have their own clothes. Deep inside, many of their reflexes still come from pack thinking. In nature, being separated from the pack means risk. It is easier to be attacked. Easier to get lost. Easier to lose access to food. And easier to lose the feeling of safety. So staying close to an important member of the pack is completely natural. And in a modern family, your dog's pack is your family. And the person it follows the most is usually the one it sees as the leader. The main caregiver. The person who makes it feel safest. Or the person it is most emotionally attached to. Put simply, many dogs are not thinking, oh, my owner is walking from the sofa to the kitchen. Their reflex is more like, my person is leaving this spot. I should go too. It sounds small. But if you look at it that way, you will see that this act of following is actually very instinctive, very sincere, and almost never calculated. Part 3, the second reason, you are its source of safety. This is the part that I personally find the most touching. Many dogs follow their owners not because they want something specific, but simply because being near you makes them feel more at ease. Humans have a strange habit. When someone is always near us, we start to think that it is normal. But for a dog, being near you may be the way it regulates its emotions. Especially for dogs that have been abandoned before. Have lived in an unstable environment. Have just been adopted. Or simply have a sensitive personality. They are not just following. They are checking for your presence. Are you still there? Are you leaving? Is everything okay? Some dogs calm down just by hearing their owner's footsteps. Some sleep better just by lying in a corner where they can still see their owner. I think this is something many dog owners do not notice. We often think we are just the one taking care of them. But sometimes, to them, you are not just the one who feeds them. You are the place where the world still feels okay. And that is why some dogs ask for nothing at all, they just quietly lie near your feet, or get up and follow you every time you walk away. It is not because they are annoying. It is because being near you makes them feel safe. Part 4, the third reason, dogs read your habits and emotions better than you think. There is something incredibly interesting here. Dogs observe humans far better than we imagine. They remember what time you usually wake up, the way you walk when you are about to go out, the sound of your keys, the way you sigh, the rhythm of your footsteps when you are in a hurry, even your emotional state through your facial expressions and body energy. In other words, sometimes dogs follow you because they are reading the situation. For example, if you stand up slowly, it may not react much. But if you stand up decisively, turn quickly, pick up a bag, or look toward the door, it follows immediately. Why? Because in its mind, those signals have led to something important before. Going for a walk. Getting food. Going outside. A visitor arriving. Or its owner disappearing from sight. Dogs live a lot through repeated patterns. They connect signals with outcomes. So following you is sometimes not only about affection, but also about being highly tuned into the rhythm of your life. And honestly, I think that is both adorable and a little impressive. Because sometimes we do not even realize that we are stressed. But the dog in the house has already noticed it long ago. Part 5, the fourth reason, sometimes it is just curious. Not everything has to be deeply emotional. Sometimes dogs follow you simply because they are curious. What are you doing? Where are you going? Is something new happening? Is there food? Is there a strange sound? Is something fun about to happen? The nature of many dogs is that they love being involved in every movement inside the house. When the house is quiet and suddenly someone stands up and walks into another room, to them, that is an event. Especially with active, intelligent breeds that love interaction, following you can sometimes be as simple as this. I do not want to miss anything. And honestly, if you look at it that way, dogs are like an adorable version of people who always fear missing out. You may just be going to get water. But in its head, it could be thinking, what is happening? Let me come too. That is why sometimes a dog following you can be very funny. You go into the kitchen, it goes into the kitchen. You go out to the balcony, it goes out to the balcony. You go into the bedroom, it goes into the bedroom. You go to the bathroom, it stands outside the door waiting. It is not because everything is serious. It is because, to your dog, your life is the show it loves watching the most. Part 6, but there is another truth, sometimes it is a sign of separation anxiety. This part is important. Not every following behavior is cute and completely harmless. Sometimes a dog follows its owner because of separation anxiety, meaning it feels too uneasy when you are not around. Common signs include following you step by step in a tense way. Becoming restless the moment you are out of sight. Barking, whining, or scratching the door when you leave. Destroying things when left alone. Having trouble relaxing if it cannot see you. At that point, the following is no longer just about attachment. It becomes a way of controlling its anxiety. Personally, I think this is where many dog owners get confused the most. We see a dog cling to us and think, oh, it loves me so much. And yes, maybe it does. But it may also mean that it does not know how to stay calm without you. And love mixed with too much anxiety is not a good thing in the long run, even for a dog. So if your dog follows you very closely but also shows clear signs of stress when left alone, then what it needs is not for you to enjoy feeling loved, but for you to help it learn how to feel safe even when you are not beside it. That is a much more humane response. Part 7, my personal view, the most beautiful thing about this behavior. If you ask me personally, the reason this behavior feels emotional is not really because dogs are loyal. That phrase is true, but it sounds a little old. What feels more beautiful to me is this. Dogs choose to stay close to you, over and over again, every day, in the most ordinary moments. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to be cheerful all the time. You do not have to be successful or interesting. You just have to be you. You walk from one room to another. It follows. You sit down to work. It lies nearby. You are tired. It still stays around. You are not doing anything special at all. But to your dog, your presence is important enough to be worth following. I think that is a very quiet kind of love. Not loud. Not verbal. Not demanding to be fully understood. It is simply saying, in silence, I want to be near you. And maybe because humans live so fast, we sometimes forget the value of a presence like that. We think only big things count as love. But for dogs, love often appears in the smallest actions. Lying by the door waiting for you. Lifting their head when they hear your voice. Following you through a short hallway. Then quietly lying down again. If you really think about it, that is something very rare. Part 8, so what should we do when a dog always follows us? In my opinion, the first thing is not to dismiss that behavior. Do not just laugh and say, it is so annoying. It sticks to me like glue. It follows me everywhere. Because behind that small action there may be affection, trust, dependence, curiosity, or the need to feel safe. The second thing is to observe more carefully. Ask yourself, is it following me in a relaxed state or a tense one? Can it stay calm when I am not around? Is it following me because it is happy and interested, or because it is afraid of being left behind? Am I unintentionally making it too dependent on me? And the third thing, and probably the most important. If your dog simply likes being near you, treasure that. Because one day, the house will still be the same, the hallway will still be the same, and you will still get up to get water the same way. But there will no longer be the sound of little paws clicking behind you. And only then will you realize how precious those small things once were. It sounds a little sad, but I think it is true. Because most of the time, we do not recognize happiness while it is happening. We only recognize it after it is gone. So, what is the real reason your dog follows you everywhere? It could be pack instinct. It could be because you make it feel safe. It could be because it reads the rhythm of your life and your emotions. It could be curiosity. And sometimes, it could also be because it feels anxious when you are away. But whatever the reason is, one thing is almost certain. In its world, you are an incredibly important presence. So the next time your dog quietly gets up and follows you after you have taken only a few steps, maybe instead of calling it annoying, you should take a moment to look at it. Maybe what it is saying, in the language of dogs, is simply this. I want to make sure you are still here.